Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You know what? Because of what I do and the direction I was going in, even before I formally went in it, I've always, at my core, I've been a motivational speaker. At my core, and a motivational type of person. I was always the person to look people in the eye and say, hey, you can do it. They can tell me anything. They could say they wanted to do anything. It could be something I have nothing familiar with. I'd be like, man, you're going to be great at that. You know, I know you can do it. Right? You know, I'm not that type of, oh, you can't do it or anything. In fact, people like being around me because I'm always encouraging everybody. Always encouraging. Even when I played sports in high school and stuff. I was seen as a team captain even when I formally wasn't, because the coaches were like, you know what, you always talking. You always like, yeah, come on, let's do it. Right? But, unfortunately, the people don't believe it. I can say it all I want. People don't do it. You know, the biggest thing I've seen with people is they have ideas. I mean, I hear them. I hear them. People have some great ideas about doing stuff. Right? But it's like they waiting on some magical moment to start the ideas. You know what? I'm gonna share something about me. When I first started writing, right? Because it was this. Well, I'll get into what I was about to say there. But when I started writing, right, I had a full-time job. And then. Full-time job, and then I worked out a whole lot more than I do now, right? And I was partying a bit more. Yet, despite all that, I didn't wait for an opportune time to start writing and doing my bit. I just started it, you know? It's like, it's never an opportune time to start doing anything. You know, you always have people saying, well, I'm going to wait till my child's out of school, or I'm going to wait till I saved up enough money. Right? No, whether it's business, whether it's a project, whatever. Maybe it's just changing your lifestyle. What are you waiting on? There's no opportune moment. The moment to start doing something is the second you think about it. At least start working towards it. If I get an idea to do something, the first thing I do, I break out my smartphone and start doing some searches. And that's usually because I think of stuff to do while I'm out and about. As soon as I get home, I put the smartphone down, get on the computer. You know, I can save the battery a little bit that way. You know, I get on there. I was like, if I get an idea, or like a lot of times I get ideas for slogans for shirts. First thing I do is I look it up. Unfortunately, many of the great slogans are taken. I actually have a slogan for a shirt I'm going to do, right? I already started thinking about the designs already, right? Like, I already started working on it. And that's in addition to everything I'm doing. Because it's like, what are you waiting on? Right? What am I waiting on? You know, people got everything. And it's like, well, they need perfect conditions and everything to start something. There are no perfect conditions. There never is. Even if it's a business, I know you ultimately want to do the business full time. So you're like, well, I got to save money. You can still work on the business. You don't have to give services, but you can like develop your business plan. You know, you can develop your business plan, something. Look, here's what you do. Regardless of the project, whether it's a business project, lifestyle change, you just start. You just jump into it. And it don't have to be fast and full tilt. You can take your time. If you want to be a writer or something, you don't have to say, well, if I'll do it and I'll start on this day and all of that. Get out a piece of paper and write a page or something. Write a scene real quick. Just write. It don't have to be correct. It don't have to be have correct grammar. Shoot, the words can be misspelled, whatever. All you're doing is just start. You start right at that moment. And then the next day, you write a little bit more. If you want to start an exercise, it's amazing. A lot of people will say, well, the first of the year, I'm going to get into this exercise program. Why are you waiting till the first? You can start walking as soon as you hear this. If you want to start losing weight or something, as soon as you hear this podcast, you can start walking. Shoot. Some of you, if you got something, shoot, put the headphones on. You can do it now. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Because I'm going to tell you what'll happen if you wait on it. Because usually when people wait on it, they looking for the perfect condition. Conditions will never be perfect. Let me say that again. Conditions are never perfect. They will never be perfect. Because while you waiting on it, something could happen and it takes you further away from it. It takes away your time. It could be some emergency, whatever, and you hadn't gotten started on something. And then you get distracted and all of a sudden it's a year later and you still talking it. It's like, no. There's no timetable. Don't wait for some date to start something. Because it's going to get harder. Something will come up. If you want to do videos, podcasts, whatever. Shoot, start out. When I first started doing videos on YouTube, shoot, I was using my computer. I was using the webcam on a computer, on a desktop. And shoot, some people might even seen it though. You can tell the quality between that and the $800 camera I use now. And even with that, you know what? I wanted to start doing like the Rom TV videos, right? Now, I didn't say, okay, I'm going to do it at this date or this date. As soon as I started about doing that, I went out and bought that camera because I needed it for that, right? I started setting up the web page and stuff, started looking around. As soon as I said I was going to do that, I started immediately looking around for different platforms to use until I settled on the one. See, understand, when you get started, like I said, it don't have to be a great leap. I know some people say jump. You don't have to be a jump because realistically, you might not be able to jump at that moment. But you can put your toe in the water. You can put your toe in the water. You can start wading in. The only thing that matters is you are going towards that goal. As long as you make a movement towards that goal, you're doing something. It could be just researching it. Because I know, look, I ain't going, I'm realistic. I know you got 2 or 3 jobs already. You got a family. You got a mate that like to see you occasionally. You might want to have sex every now and then. And yeah, you got to eat sometime. But shoot, you can do something, even if it's a few minutes. Because what'll happen is as you start, it becomes more and more. And don't wait. Now, I know a big reason people wait is fear. People wait is fear. And another reason people wait, deep down, they just talking. I'm going to tell you what. If it's dealing with fear, only way to deal with the fear is to face it. The only way to deal with the fear is to face it. You just got to just say, you know what? I'm worried if I can do this. Why don't you face it? Because you won't know. And, you can't have a fear of failure or anything. Reality is you can always fail. But you won't know. You can always win, too. And as far as that, I always say, well, you can always win, too. And you might win if you just go for it, right? You might win if you just going for it. But then another thing is a lot of people just talking. Now, that's a big problem there because why talk about something if you're not going to do it? Seriously. I need to do another podcast just on that. Why talk about something if you're not going to do it? I'm going to call that joint. It's going to be next week. It's going to be Walk the Walk. Like a lot of people like to talk for whatever reason, to impress people, to hear themselves talk, to seem important, all of that. Talk is cheap. Talk is definitely cheap. All right? Don't talk. If you're not going to do something, don't put it out there. You're going to do it. Because then actually, I'm going to tell you what. One of the saddest things I see is when you get some people, and I've seen men and women who will start off and all they can just say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get this going, everything. And you just, after a while, you just sit and nod. But after a while, you don't trust that person because they just talking. They just talking. And it's like, as a associate would say, they like toddlers talking. You just like, yeah, okay, whatever. All right. So, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do that walk the walk next week. I'm gonna write that joint down. So anyway, though, y'all have a great Sunday and keep rising and transforming.